What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 7, and as we start to approach the midway point within the first season, obviously in the last episode, coming off the back of a big 5-3 defeat to Derby County in a game which was quite literally a game of two halves. Yet we were 3-1 up and managed to lose 5-3 at the end of the 90 minutes. But anyway, we must move on. We must start getting the points and the wins once again. So as you would have seen, I showed you the upcoming games within this episode. First one against Middlesbrough. It's probably the biggest game of the series so far, and I've said that about quite a few games, but this is the biggest. It's first in the table Leeds United versus second in the table Middlesbrough, and with big games coming up soon such as Man United in the quarter-finals of the EFL Cup, we needed a win to get back on form. Yet going into this one feeling pretty confident, knowing Middlesbrough were a bit weak in this tie. They had players that were tired, they had a rotated team just like we did. Patrick Bamford coming in for Preston in this one, and it was Patrick Bamford that gave us the lead 8 minutes in through a lovely, well-crafted goal. And then, as you would see, 32 minutes in, just past the half-hour mark, we were 1-0 up, and Axel Tuanzebe goes ahead and gets a straight red card. Yep, one match ban for Axel Tuanzebe after this one, so he will miss the next game. I believe against Preston North End is the next game after this one. But yeah, he will miss that game, and the amount of games we're playing at the minute in this December period, we don't need players suspended. We need the biggest squad, we need the fittest squad we've got possible. It does mean, though, he'll be able to play against Man United and be fully fit for that game. But as you would see, going into the second half then, down to 10 men, and I was thinking, right, just hold on to the 1-0 lead. I don't care if we win 1-0, I don't care if we draw 1-1. Just grab a point or 3 points if we can. But as you would see, Middlesbrough would miss a golden opportunity to go 1-1. And then just after the hour mark, 60 minutes in, Patrick Bamford gets his brace and makes it 2-0. But Middlesbrough weren't down and out. They certainly weren't down and out. Penalty given, Woba with a yellow card, and Middlesbrough go ahead and pull away the penalty. And there you go. It finished 2-1 to Leeds United. So a very good result, down to 10 men. Not the clean sheet we were after, though. And I've got to say, I don't care if we didn't get the clean sheet. Down to 10 men, I'll absolutely take the 3 points. So, going into the post-match interview then, as you would see, questions about Patrick Bamford. And it's a hard one with Patrick Bamford. Obviously, he's getting on his career now. He's not going to be around for much longer. I believe he's in his early 30s. So, he will be getting to the latter stages of career. Now, he's very good as a championship striker. Will he be good in the Premier League, though? That's my question. In the summer, are we going to have to try and sell him on and bring in a younger, more exciting forward? Again, we brought in Preston for this first season, which has been an amazing signing. Preston has been incredible, scoring lots of goals. But Patrick Bamford, is he one of those players that's going to have to be sacrificed when we reach the Premier League? Maybe, maybe not. We will have to see when we get there. As you would see, though, going into the second game of today's episode, taking on Preston North End away in Preston, and as you would see, just before the half-time mark, Ethan Ampadu was the latest one to get red carded, and down to 10 men once again. And this time, down to 10 men without a goal up. Yeah, the first half didn't bring many opportunities for us, and if they did, we certainly couldn't put them away or fall in front of goal in this one against Preston, and Preston took their chances. But as we'd see, going into the last 5 minutes of the game, Preston North End 1-0 up. Could we get a point? Well, Patson Daka gets the ball rolled through to him, and Patson Daka makes it 1-1 in the last dying minutes of the game. But it wasn't done there. 87 minutes was the goal that got us the equaliser and maybe a point. Preston weren't done. 90th minute, Osmajic, or however you say it, I'm sorry if I butcher names sometimes, goes ahead and makes it 2-1. And it was just one of those games where we weren't going to get the win. And if anything, I didn't want to lose. But as you would see, in stoppage time, 92nd minute, Preston make it 3 and Leeds United 1. And it's that man again from Preston, gets his hat-trick, and it's another defeat on the road for Leeds United. Away from home, we've not been the best this season, and that's now our 3rd defeat in the first half of this season, and it's just simply not good enough. And with big games coming up, obviously we've got Man United coming up next in the League Cup quarter-finals. We've got other games like FA Cup coming up soon. You'll see who we drew in that one in the next episode in the 3rd round. But it's just not good enough, and it's a lack of discipline, and it's laziness. Getting sent off in a game, it just shouldn't be happening. And again, discipline. That's what it is. It's a lack of discipline. But with Ampadu out, and the game I really needed him in, he's out. But Axel Tuanzebe, the former Red Devil, makes it into the starting 11. But as you would see, biggest game yet. Manchester United away under lights at the Theatre of Dreams at Old Trafford in the Carabao Cup quarter-finals. Knowing if we win this, we could be going to the semi-finals, where we could be either facing Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, even a team like Bristol City. Who knows? But going into this one, coming off the back of a 3-1 defeat against Preston, not feeling very confident that we could get anything from this. We did go 1-0 up, and it was Patson Daka in this one once again. He got the start over Patrick Bamford, but shortly afterwards, 25 minutes in, Manuel Ugarte, the new man for Eric Ten Hag this summer. Obviously they signed Ugarte from PSG. What a move that was, and in my opinion a bargain. Ugarte's got plenty of room to improve. He's only just starting his career out as well, and under the right tactics and under the right management, he could be an absolute star in the midfield. So Ugarte made it 1-1, and then as you would see just before half time, Amad Diallo, who is on the shortlist for players to come in either in January or next season in the summer, goes ahead and makes it 2-1. And if there was ever a performance that would make Amad Diallo one of my favourites to sign, it was this game. Well, as you would see, second half, Patson Daka starts strong but puts the ball wide of the post. Man United not really offering too much, and in the 80th minute, as the defence gets carved open, Patson Daka goes ahead and makes it 2-2. 10 minutes to play. I wouldn't mind keeping it at 2-2 and going to penalties. I know we've got a better chance at beating them on penalties than we do in the 90 minutes. But as you know, Man United, they haven't been good in real life this season. They really struggled against lower league teams, and they struggled in the last 10 minutes. Patson Daka gets rolled through again, runs past De Ligt. De Ligt can't keep up. On the Trivela, beats Onana, and it's Man United 2, Leeds United 3. And that's full time. Patson Daka with a wonderful hat-trick, and it's the biggest win of the season so far. Now the question was, after beating Man United, who are we going to face? Well, the other ties around the grounds, obviously Arsenal were playing Accrington, you had Liverpool playing Bristol City, and I believe you had Newcastle playing Man City. So going into the next round, I was thinking, right, I'd really like a Bristol or a Newcastle, someone we would have a chance against. And the scores around the grounds, Arsenal went through, Bristol went through, Man City went through, and I was thinking, I really want Bristol City. Nope, we're going to have to do it the hard way. Arsenal in the semi-finals of the League Cup. First leg away at the Emirates, and then the second leg at home at Elland Road. So if we could go to the Emirates and get something, it would be amazing. If we can't, I wouldn't worry about it. The League Cup doesn't go towards your manager objective anyway. It's just a bit of silverware just to have at the end of the season. But again, in the first season, if we could win the Championship title and the League Cup, I'd absolutely take that. Of course, the FA Cup is the bigger trophy to win. But again, I'll be happy with a League Cup and a Championship title. Anyway, going into the fourth game of today's episode, taking on Oxford United, yet as we slowly approach the second half of the season. We've still got 2 games to go though, Oxford United being one of them. Patrick Bamford in this one got the nod over Patson Daka as Daka was suffering from tiredness. He did make the bench though, but wasn't fit enough to start. Leeds United 2-0 up within the first half hour, both goals coming from Patrick Bamford, and I've got to say Patrick Bamford, when he has come in, he's been very, very good, and it just goes back to what I was saying earlier in the episode. Is he going to be sacrificed next season if we make it to the Premier League? Is he a Premier League striker, or are we going to have to look for someone younger and someone with a bit more ability in the long run? Obviously Patrick Bamford, if he did make it to the Premier League, he'd only be there for about a season anyway before we probably moved him on. So will he get one last dance in the Premier League? We'll have to wait and see. He could even get brought in January, we don't know. But again, if a top 6 club in the Premier League comes knocking, or a realistic European club comes knocking, we won't say no, because it's just realistic. If a player comes in, or if a player wants to leave, and a top 6 club like a Tottenham or an Arsenal come knocking, realistically, they're going to want to go to the bigger club, aren't they? So we're not going to step in ahead of players' growth. If they want to leave, they want to leave. We can't help that. But if they don't want to leave, we're not selling them. For example, Dan James, for example, he's not going to want to leave, or I hope he doesn't want to leave in January. But anyway, going into the penultimate game of today's episode, coming off the back of a 3-0 win against Oxford United. Stoke City away at the Stoke City Stadium. Ethan Ampadu, 6.5 minutes in, goes ahead and makes it 1-0 for a lovely set-piece effort. And I've got to say, in this game, a real lack of chances from both teams. It was mainly a midfield battle. The crossover in possession was unbelievable. As you would see though, just after the 20th minute mark, we would have another opportunity, but this one saved from Johansson, the Stoke City goalkeeper. Half time would come upon us then, and it did end 1-0 to Leeds United. And again, like I said, in a half where we never really looked like scoring and there wasn't enough chances for both teams, we were lucky to be 1-0 up. But as you would see, Stoke would have an opportunity later on into the second half, but Melier was there to save us and come to the rescue. And then going into the stoppage time of the second half, still 1-0 up, looking for the 3 points. Patson Daka puts a close on the game and makes it Stoke City 0, Leeds United 2. On the official halfway point of the season, we are still top of the championship. It did end 2-0, absolutely great result, and we'll take the clean sheet away from home as well. But guys, if you did go on to enjoy today's episode, make sure you do like and subscribe, as we have officially hit halfway point in season 1. Thank you for all the support on the series so far. I do appreciate it, but don't forget, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye for now.